Thank you. Now, I do not remember the first day of school, third grade. However, after school, I went to my grandparents' house and was climbing the chestnut tree in their backyard, fell out of the tree and broke both my arms simultaneously. Had to have them surgically reset, missed a week of school, so that I remember. Now, you might think this is a pretty sad state of affairs. You have a third grader with a cast on each arm. But this actually came with a lot of perks. For example, when I would go to school, the first thing that was done after they took attendance was they had to choose who was going to carry my lunch tray. People were fighting to serve me. You know, I also knew if I got into a tussle, I was literally and figuratively well armed. And most importantly, at least for the purposes of tonight's story, I was exempted from handwriting lessons. So Miss Riggenbach, my third grade teacher, she told me, hey, you know what? You can go to the back of the classroom and read while we do this. So I had this little area, this little nook cordoned off for my belletristic pursuits. And it was weird because it was in the corner of the room and it was a total blind spot. No one could see me there. This corner also happened to have a large box in the corner, had some wrapping paper on it, a lid you could remove, and on the outside of the box, written in big letters, was Box of Discovery. Yeah. Now, I'm going to stop the story here to say, while I am not a legal scholar, I think for everything that follows here, all of the legal criteria for entrapment, it was all established. So, as you may imagine, you have a box like this. The box and I, our relationship became intimate very quickly. I do not remember exactly what was in the box except for one item, and that was a large jar of chow chow. Yes. So now, if you don't know what chow chow is, it is a medley of vegetables in a sweet brine with some spices. You know, the exact food that a normal third grader avoids like the plague. I was not a normal third grader. So even in my convalescent state, I determined I'm getting in that jar. And somehow, I guess temptation powered me through, and I was able to open up this jar, and no one knew. And I went, and my first taste of this stuff, it was a kidney bean. And for a while, man, I was in complete control, okay? So, all right, I'm just going to have, a little carrot, take the edge off before, there are monsters in where the wild things are. Why not have a green bean before green eggs and ham? It's all sophisticated. But soon I found my appetites got away from me, and they were much, much, much more difficult to sate. I found suddenly, instead of just one little bite, I'm getting 3, 4 during a handwriting lesson. Or then suddenly I'm not content with little slivers of celery or a couple kernels of corn. No. I demand cauliflower florets. And what seemed very exotic, little slices of okra. I started making excuses during the day to go back to my little chow chow den, okay? And then I'm even start drinking the brine. And I think it really culminated that I had depleted the stock so much. My little hand, I couldn't, because the cast would hit the jar, I couldn't even get down to it anymore. So I started taking pencils back with me. Ironically, the very implement I was sent there to avoid, so that I could get out this stuff. I had a problem. But thankfully, time goes fast when you're in third grade, and before you knew it, they took the casts off. I was welcomed back to be a full participant in society again. And, it was kind of like rapid detox, I was able to kick my habit. Thank you. However, I never actually ever admitted to my crimes, even when the teacher asked the class, has anyone been in the box of discovery? So while I was no longer addicted, I certainly was not clean, okay? And I guess it's easy to tell a crowd of strangers, hey, let me tell you about my crimes, especially knowing that the statute of limitations have long passed, and I'm relatively certain none of you can send me to the principal's office or call my parents. But I got to thinking about this, the box of discovery, and what did Miss Riggenbach mean by this box of discovery? And while I don't think that it happened in the way she intended it, that thing really showed me who I was. And this was the first time, and I didn't realize it at the time, but this was the first time that I really connected with my Pennsylvania Dutch roots. You know? I'm like a third grader is demanding chow chow. So you sit there and I like ask myself, well, who am I? It's like, well, you could say I'm a sneaky little kid who goes back and pilfers pickled produce. Yeah, I guess. But you could also look at it as I'm a tried and true Pennsylvania Dutchman who is powerless against the delicious fruits of his heritage. I like that one better. And so I want to thank Ms. Riggenbach for truly offering me the box of discovery. Thank you.